guess this is the one. Oh, hello there. It's Friday, the day of preparation. Well, Friday in Roman time. It's the sixth day of the week. This the day of preparation, biblical time. I guess maybe I should just use that. But anyway, instead of have all this Roman nonsense. But anyway, so it's the sixth day of the week, and I have one of these guys that I've seen. And he has some pretty good stuff. But I've seen different people kind of fall away. All of a sudden, they attack the divinity of Christ. They attack the Trinity, and it's very sad. You listen to these people, and they have a subject that they have, or multiple subjects that are true, and they have some great stuff, and all of a sudden you just like find people saying like, one of the groups many years ago was talking to one of them. It's like, oh, we spit on the Trinity, and of course they began to push flat Earth nonsense as well. But they also had a lot of biblical truth in regards of the biblical laws, and but I don't get. Yeah, it seems like you find people where it's like, oh, it sounds pretty good and all that, and then they just turn, because again you have truth, but they use the truth to attract you, and then they begin to attack what is more important in regards to truth, like Jesus being God. And it's very sad to see, and it's and the flat Earth nonsense as well. Just give me a break. But I guess it's the internet is so controlled these days, so it seems like those who actually, you see how they're getting promoted. It seems like they're getting promoted, and yeah, I don't know. It's just so another guy. Yeah, well, anyway, so let's go back a little bit. We had Jesus Words Only, a wonderful website that I, had a good amount of good information, and I also fixed it on my, Facebook thing in regards to links and all that. I linked to it. I used it here and there. But then he went totally ballistic, going against Jesus being God. Not that, well, I guess I don't know how long it is, but he had confirmed that Jesus was God for 40 years as a Christian. Although he seems to have grown up as a Roman Catholic, but in any way, 40 years. You would think that 40 years would be enough to actually establish if it's true or not, But then, so all of a sudden, he goes totally ballistic. So all his good information, all that, all of a sudden gets tainted by this devilish attack on Jesus being God. And it's just disgusting. Of course, the so-called Jehovah's Witnesses, the false witnesses, also attack Jesus' divinity. And I was told by one of them, in regards to saying that Jesus is God Almighty Jehovah, is blasphemous. I can't remember if I actually even used the name Jehovah in regards of it. It's many years ago, but I think I might have, but I'm a little uncertain of. But whatever the case, I was told it was blasphemous. Well, that's what the Jews also said like 2,000 years ago when they condemned Jesus to death for blasphemy, because he, being a man, made himself God. The Jews absolutely understood, because they were a little more grounded in the scriptures in regards. So anyway, so they understood what he said, very quickly. So, and you can link these things, today, what they're saying, and we Gentiles might not totally understand it at the, when we look at it and all that. But the Jews had, yeah. So he also, so the one Jesus, and he actually wrote a book in regards of the issues with Paulus. It's not everything that I would agree with, but he had lot of good sources for sure as well, and some good information. And you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. You never, you never expect someone to be 100%. It's, people have, sometimes you won't agree with something and all that, and it's like, okay, you eat the meat and spit out the bones. Some people are good at one area and some are good in another area. But the problem, what I see is, the problem is that when you get, you find someone that's like, oh, this is good information, and then they put the leaven into, and all of a sudden mislead people into rejecting that Jesus is God, or misleading them away from Jesus. We had another guy. He seemed to have been a clear Satanist, actually. So that was kind of when you see like his tattoos of the pyramid and the owl. And I saw a before and after image because he fixed it and all that. And I'm like, hey, if you were a Christian before, why would you get like a tattoo like that? Why would you have like a satanic tattoo? So, but anyway, he went into the New Age and you know began to promote that Rome invented this and all that. Anyway, um, but then you have the Yerk from, well, he's not from Germany, but it's one of these nations close to it, and he does know German, and he made a lot of good videos on YouTube as well. Now he also went absolutely. That's a little over a year ago, 1.5 year ago, or something like that. He all of a sudden had this realization that Jesus is not God. Oh, really? So he also, have the first mail where he wrote back to, I didn't know. And he wrote back, he said, well, the only problem is that, in regards to my website, is that Jesus is not God. And I was like, wait a minute. You don't believe that Jesus is God? So he apparently came to this so-called realization that Jesus is not God. I don't know how people can read the Bible and use a lot of time on the Bible and then not see all the deepness and the layers in regards to Jesus being God. Because it opens up as a flower the more you read, and it's pretty clear that Jesus is God. It's like it shouldn't be that. It took me a year of intense study in regards to the New Testament before I realized it, and it's just then you see all the layers. It just begins to open up the understanding in regards of the there's you have to, like, you begin to read the Bible and you begin to grow in regards of understanding things and connect the dots and all that. And it's also one of the reasons why it's so difficult to actually write out the divinity of Jesus, because it's on so many levels. So even if you try, you might take some of it, but there's so much deepness to the Bible, so it's on so many layers. And you in the beginning you don't pick up all of the things in regards of what is actually pointing to Jesus being God. But the more you dig into it, the more submerge yourself into the Bible, the more you know the more things you find in regards of it. So anyway, so this, so we had, Jesus' words only, rejecting and teaching against it, and again fixing his other kinds of stuff and mixing this in, and the same Jörg is now doing the same. So, and he made some pretty great videos in the past. I've listened a lot to Jörg's reading of Protestant books and all that. So he went Unitarian. although he didn't want to be called Unitarian. I haven't looked into in regards of it's been some while since I last looked into what was going on his channel. But as far as in regards to the last time, he was going to read another Unitarian. Well, he was going to read a a bigger Unitarian book for the future. And it's actually called in regards of Unitarian, it's connected with the Unitarian to prove that Jesus is not God. Like you got to be kidding me. Like we have a world going into further and further darkness and madness and all that, and I just I don't I just it's just terrible. Um, I'm afraid as well. Tom Fresh seems to maybe also go in that direction. It seems so. It's can't really do much, and people if people you can only do you can only try to reach out to them. Sadly, it's yeah. So now I have another one that I actually have. He has lots of good stuff, and I just fell into this. Um, I just fell into this. Can I actually turn it around like that? Would that actually be better if that? No, I don't think that works. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to like do like this or something like that. Rotate image maybe 90 degrees. Let's try that. Uh oh. Um, I also deleted all my. I deleted my home data on my mobile because I. Oh, that's not right. Um, because I opened up the bootloader, and of course, they are so concerned of our privacy. I think it is that. Oh, there we go. Use landscape. That they're so concerned about our privacy, so we just delete all your information, right? So I was looking for the on the Android. I was looking for the message because I couldn't remember if they used the excuse of security or privacy, or data thing. So I was looking into it, but it seems like they might have updated the bootloader since I looked at it because I couldn't find it. And while looking after it, I stupidly, mistakenly, opened up the bootloader, and thereby I wiped out all of my data. So my standard mobile that I've been using, an X-Cover 6, which have a little of the old, where you can actually have a micro SD, and you have a, what's it called? No, up here, you have the hole for headphones and all that. Although I usually don't use the earplugs anymore because of my ear issue in the ears, but that's another. But anyway, so this mobile is just totally wiped out. All my data, all my Bible applications, everything is just wiped away. All my settings, all these hours, and I don't have any backup. Stupidly enough, I just didn't do any backup. There was, as far as I recall, there actually is an application where you could at least have backed up some of the things. Let's see if I can find. I can't even see the application in the standard, but I guess you need to then download it from the store or something like that, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, great. All the settings, all the things, and it takes so much time to set these things up. And of course, the reason why I actually looked into this in regards to the bootloader was because they all of a sudden locked the user data from the user because of what is like security or privacy, whatever bullshit. So the user can't get access to his own data on the apps. But I guess it doesn't matter now because everything is wiped out: images, videos, applications, all the settings, by just a little mistake. Um, but yeah, it seems that's since last time I looked on the bootloader, um, you know, there's been a good amount of updates and all that. So maybe they also updated the bootloader or something like that in the update or something like that. So it changed. I couldn't find it, at least. Maybe I just need to look better in regards of it. Oh, it's hot. Whew, huh? See if we can. Oh, I don't have any power. Anyway. So anyway, but let's get back to topic. It's just I ordered a new mobile that shouldn't have all these issues that I have in regards. And I try to get something since the LGV20 that actually just works, so you don't have all these bullshit issues like heat issues as well. This mobile will probably heat up as any of the mobiles that I have in regards of Android. You just do some live streaming, some video, and all that, and then they heat up. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. You can't even do a little video and without heating up. Where's the? I don't know why it's so hot all of a sudden. I actually didn't feel like it was that hot. Um, but yeah, this little fan that I actually bought from this little fan I bought, last year, has really served me nicely. It's a nice little fan. It also has battery and all that. So, and you can, it has USB-C and all that. So it charges with USB-C. It's pretty nice. I've been pretty happy with that in regards to keeping, if it's too hot. And you can also take it with you if you're going to bed on the floor. I really need to look into something in regards to sleeping a little better. But anyway, why is it actually? Oh, here we go. So anyway, I ordered a new mobile that is a huge, gigantic mobile. But I hope it will actually, you should be able to record calls like you did on the LGV20, and it should be doing it automatically and recording it in the background, which is like, hey, what an idea, right? Anyway, because the authorities and they don't want us to record what they say. But of course, they will record everything that we say, you know. But anyway, um, it's just annoying in regards to heating issues. It's just and the you can't even buy bigger batteries anymore, like in the old days where you could buy like, this is a, you know, like you could actually buy a big battery in the old days. And of course the LGV20, although my screens are broken, all that. But yeah, you could actually buy bigger batteries, so you could actually get some more juice. So you don't get all, so you don't need to. And of course, you can't hot swap batteries much anymore on most mobiles either. You can do it on this one, but still, heating issues and all that. And yeah, not totally. I can't remember all the issues overall that but yeah, it works. It works. It works okay. And it would still be nicer with a bigger battery for it. And yeah. Anyway, yeah, but it also has heating issues. It very easily get heated. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. It should be newer than my LTV20, and you still have heating issues. This one as well. This is like a huge, gigantic, and it has this huge, iron thing in regards to this one, and yet it gets heating issues. You would think that this iron thing was connected to the CPU, so it was actually used to disperse the heat and all that. But so anyway, I've ordered a new phone, a Tank 3. I know we're getting a little off topic here. The Tank 3 is a mobile with a projector in it. So you can also project, on your, on some surface and all that. And it has a fan, which means that if it gets to the point of having issues, if I'm recording and all that, I can actually, as I understand it, turn on the fan in the mobile. But it's gigantic. You can't swap the batteries either in it, which is, I really, you have to compromise on so many levels. So you can't change batteries, but there's a huge gigantic. It's like pretty much like a power bank. Actually, there's more power in the mobile, as I understand it, than this power bank. This power bank has, and I actually don't know how they actually would how they could actually do that. You know, when you think about it, how can they actually, because this, the mobile would probably be around this size, maybe a little bigger. But I do wonder still, because the batteries in it is like down here on the mobile. When you I've seen some of the things where they open it up, and I think it's 150. A kilo. What is it called? Watt hours or something like that. So it's a gigantic battery that is in it, and you should only need to charge it like, as I calculated, is like 15 times as much battery as the other one I have, I think. So, and I can pretty much dry that down, where I change the battery 3 times a day or something like that, which again is annoying, but anyway. So you should have, like, if you take that as a kind of if it uses somewhat of the same uses of the battery, it might use more, but then you have, well, it should be able to go some days for sure on one battery charge. So, but anyway, it's gigantic. It's heavy. It's like 700 grams. But I'm just sick and tired of this heating issues and all that, and that you can't record. So now I try to order this after a lot of hassle in regards of money, because I don't have this digital ID. So that's kind of doesn't make it easier in regards of things. Yeah. So we'll see. It is on the way apparently. And I think I will see if I can then sell this one, because there's no point in keeping this one anymore, because I don't have any of my data. The only thing I could really use was if I can rescue the data, but I don't think that's possible. As I understand it, Android are pretty good at wiping out the data because of security, Yeah, anyway. And it's still one of the, it's still sold in the market and all that. So, yeah. And I only have 2 batteries now, because I was actually trying to see if I could make a modified battery. And I still could actually look into it and try and see if I can actually do it, just to see if it's actually if I can get some experience with it and see if I can actually make it happen. I already ruined the batteries in regards of not being able to use it as a single battery anymore. So, and fixed out the cells, and so it's, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll just throw it out. But I have these, I was looking into the batteries. Now, this is not from, this is from another phone, but you have 2 cells, I think they call them, and then they connect the cells, as you can see, into with this little print here, and then they connect, of course, to the mobile. This is one of these batteries that I bought from the past, but it began to have, it began to be too big in regards of blowing up. What do you call it anyway? I don't know why. It doesn't seem that bad but yeah. So it begins to grow the battery, and that's a problem, because that actually also ruined the screen, because because of the pulling in the screen. And that apparently was enough to break one of the screens on the LGV20. So that was very sad. So both screens of those old mobiles I have of the LGV20 are broken now. Has been broken for a long, long time. But anyway, of course, the LGV20 also has heating issues. And I looked into and tried to see if you could actually put some cooling on it in some way. But it seems like the CPU is fixed to the screen. So the heating goes dispersed on the screen instead of the other side. Anyway, whatever. That's incredible. It's like an 8-year-old mobile in regards to the LGV20. So they make it so, wasteful in regards of our time and all that. So, I don't know in regards to what I'm going to do with those batteries. If I'm going to try out to see if I can actually make a bigger battery to the other one, just to try. But of course, then if I make a battery that actually works, I will need to see if to make the cover. Also, the problem with this, of course, is that now that I've used this a little, it seems like it's now loosening in regards of, well, you could fix it with, putting a little more, some tape or something like that on the back, so that it gets a little, so it doesn't, so that's a fix and all that. But anyway, so I bought this new, order this tank tree mobile. Interestingly enough, if you actually ordered it the right place, it was actually a lot cheaper than other places. It's huge difference actually in price if you actually just order it from the specific place where they make them and all that. You can actually save a good amount of money in regards to that. So, but anyway, we'll see. So I think that will be the next, and then I will just hopefully it works in regards of recording calls, and you know and total command, as I understand it, should work on it as well, which it doesn't do on this one because they, I don't know, it's, and I talked to them in regards to this phone that I'm now using at the moment until the other one comes around, and it doesn't really have many apps installed. Primarily I just actually would have this as a, for radio or Devarim, because Devarim doesn't work on Android 14. This is Android 13. And apparently this application, because we wouldn't make any backward compatibility, apparently, I don't know if there's any program out there where you can actually make some kind of backward compatibility, but it would kind of have been nice instead of just throwing one Android version out after another, and making more madness, But yeah, so I just had some few apps on it, not too much. Just if I ever wanted to do some Hebrew or something like that, I can still use this application and use it. Apparently they didn't do an update. I guess the program is kind of abandoned. I guess called abandonware. I guess sadly. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to see it, and try it out and see if it's actually hopefully as good as yeah. I don't have my like high hopes, but it has a fan, so if heating issues and all that, if I'm recording, if apparently it doesn't seem like the people out there have had any heating issues even without the fan on and all that. The fan is primarily, as I understand it, actually for the projector thing, although it's connected to the rest of the mobile as far as I understand. So if there's some heating issues, you could actually just turn on the fan. In regards of being able to record calls in the background automatically, that's a thumbs up for that. That they actually do that. They actually go around Google's bullshit and actually have made their own recording application. However, they have done that in regards of working and this and that. But that's nice to have. So I will have that feature again. It does have a jack stick. And it does have a place for micro SD as well. Oh yeah, it also does have 512 gigabyte of storage. So, which means at least I won't fill it up so easily. Like sadly, the LG V20 had this bad thing of only having 64 gigabyte, and that's of course not even 64 gigabyte at the very instant because they lie and deceive. And then you have the system as well, so you fill it up pretty quickly, even if you have a micro SD that you can. It's So that was kind of one of the kind of bottlenecks in regards to the LG V20. I really wish they had a 128 gigabyte version when they sold it, but no, they didn't want to do that. Apparently, that was just terrible. But yeah, the last flagship with a detachable battery and all the standard necessaries for a mobile. And then the whole world went nutcase, and the software went worse and worse and worse in regards to Google and all that. So yeah. Anyway, I should get back on topic, but it's in regards to the tank tree, it will be an interesting. Hopefully I won't waste too much time. I'll need to set up all the Bible applications again, and uh, and I guess I lost a lot of images as well. In regards to screenshots, and I lost a lot. You know, that's terrible. But anyway, it makes it easier for selling it. Because I don't have any data that is. I'm not even sure if the micro SD card actually also is wiped out of. I don't think it is, but I actually haven't checked it. Hopefully it's not. Although I do have a backup of the micro SD, so that wouldn't be the biggest. I don't think it is. Actually, I think the micro SD still have the data, but but yeah, 512 gigabyte on the storage should be more than enough to not fill it up. For yeah, and then just use the micro SD card, of course, for the media stuff and all that. So it seems like the Tank 3 is a win-win on many levels. It has also a pretty good speaker. Well, I don't know if it's good, but it should be loud enough as well. I don't think it's as loud as this one, but I'll test it out when it comes around. So I just don't understand why AGM wouldn't update and they're still selling the phone, on their front page. They still sell this phone. And in 2 years, they have not updated it. And they know there's some bugs because I pointed it out to them. And they also verified that there's some issues. But apparently they have only a programmer in some foreign nation or something like that. And I guess they have other kind of projects because, you have to make one mobile, and so forward, right? Instead of just actually making one mobile and actually sorting it out and fixing it as, so the support, there has been no update for this AGM mobile that I have here in 2 years. In 2 years, there's been no update. We can, you can. I guess I'm getting off topic on this. Maybe I should actually write in the thing. Oh yeah, the other good thing with the Tank 3 is that it charges very quickly as well. You have 120 watts charging, so even if you can't change the battery, it can charge the batteries in under 2 hours, as I understand it, with the 120 watt charger. But again, the big minus with it is that it's the big minus is that it is 700 grams. It's a huge, gigantic phone. So look at this. Oh, it's only Android 12 apparently. But I think the other application could actually run on Android 13. I think it stopped working after I updated the Samsung X cover. So I guess one could maybe downgrade it to Android 13, toying around with that. But everything takes brain power, and I don't have any more brain power at all. Android version 12, Android security update. As you can see, no update. So they know, AGM knows that there's issues, and yet they wouldn't update it. I wouldn't care about an update if everything worked as it should. But when something is broken, then they should fix it. And one of the things was in regards to Total Commander. It's I can't remember all the rest of the things because again my brain is overfull, and it's impossible to remember all the things. Yeah. So there we go. So anyway, so getting back to the Trinity, I guess maybe you want to see a picture of the tank tree. I think I have something here. I also lost all my tabs first in one browser, then in the other browser. And then of course I lost all my applications or all my data on the mobile thing, So it's really going really, really good on my side. You have like auto updating browsers, so they and automatically closing down and all that. It's just I don't know if I can. Probably can't turn the camera around, but I can. Yeah, you can turn. I can turn the screen around here. So here it is. This is the Tank 3 mobile, and hopefully it's good. I don't know if it is, but we'll find out. If it's good, if it's wonderful, and they do actually, they just updated it, although I don't really care much about the updates and all that, but they, regards, as long as everything is working, and they actually do seem to care about the users at least a little more than AGM. So they actually updated this phone for Android 14. Um, so not long ago, and there was some hiccups in the beginning, and they actually quickly sorted those things out. The people complaining, so at least these people, this Chinese company or something like that, I think it's like two companies pretty much, but which is also kind of a little confusing because you have a 8849 and then you have the other name which I can't remember, which is kind of, you have two different companies and kind of a weird. But you have a fan, you have a projector, you have the jack stick, you have a micro SD. Would have been nice with two micro SDs, as a possibility. Would also maybe have been nice with the possibility of taking the SIM card out or the micro SD card out without taking the SIM card. But anyway, it's we had to compromise, apparently. But it would have been nice if they actually had made two, right? So you could just take one out with the micro SD card and not the SIM card, because then the problem with the connection, and you might need to you might need to turn off the mobile and turn it on again to get the SIM card to work again and all that. But yeah, it does have a thing where you can strap it onto as well. I guess that's a pretty nice thing as well, because you probably it's not going to be well, it's going to be pretty big in the pocket, and you will absolutely need something with a belt to keep your pants up if you're going to have like 700 grams in your. I usually don't have it in my pocket. I usually have it at the pocket at the leg, and of course, there are pants out there that kind of have bigger pockets and all that, different sizes. And maybe you could find something that could actually have it in there. But it would still be 700 grams, so you would still have a pretty good belt on and all that. Yeah. It also has, some light thing, LED thing on it. So yeah, it has a lot of things. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so getting back to the topic, so we had all these different people, and they go astray in regards to the divinity of Jesus, and will say this and that. And all of a sudden, in regards to this, is that really in the Bible? He has this SoundCloud that he put up yesterday. The Trinity is a lie. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, are you kidding me? So, do we have another one? Like, I haven't seen anything from this guy promoting anything against the divinity of Christ or anything against the Trinity and all that. And all of a sudden, I see this. So, I don't know if we have another fallen. I say, man. If we have another fallen person in regards of and beginning to attack this. But yeah, you get so tired. I see. He writes here, in mainstream Christianity, the Trinity is a litmus test to see if you are a real Christian. The word Trinity is not in your Bible, no, but Godhead is. Nowhere in the Bible does it say you must believe in the Trinity to be saved. Well, the idea of the Trinity, of course, in regards of understanding the teaching of Jesus, John chapter 14, 15, 16, and 17. Sadly, I can't fix the image to him because Facebook does not allow, you're only allowed to insert emojis and GIF files, stupid GIF files, and comment with a sticker and comment with an avatar, but I'm not allowed to put up my own image. Again, stinking Facebook. So I can't even put an image up in regards of the model that I made many years ago by actually, studying this little book known as the New Testament. And in regards of this was pretty much the book that ended up getting me out of the New Age, you know, because it was so cute. That's the only reason why I kept it for so many years. I had this for many, many years before I actually really began to read it. And the only reason why I had it was because, oh, it was so cute, because again, it's very small. It's so, and I actually had these to share around with people in leather version, but they stopped producing those. So, and I was talking to them, and I said, well, in regards of handing them out and all that, it's like, yeah, that's the only thing they're being used for, something like that. But there's no money in it or something like, I don't know. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. What is the idea of it? Isn't it to get the truth out to people? Anyway, I would actually have liked to have maybe just the Gospel of John to hand out, because that would be a good start for people, to know who Jesus really is. That's pretty much the first step. Find out who Jesus really is, because there's so many fake versions out there. Go to a first source, from the first century, and then you can take it from there. But yeah, so John chapter 14, 15, and 16, here we have one of the pages here. If you take that, you make a model. Oh, I made a model because I wanted to, people's like, oh, the Trinity is a mystery and it cannot be. And I'm like, yeah, you got to be kidding me. Jesus explains it, or Yeshua is explaining it. So if Yeshua is explaining it in details, I'm not going to go into it. Well, I just can't understand it. Anyway, so I went into it like, in regards to trying to understand what he's saying, and began to make, the Son is in the Father is in the Son, and of course the Son and the Father is in the children of God by the Holy Spirit. So anyway, I have a model in regards of it somewhere. Oh yeah. So this is the model if you want to see the model that I made. Now, the thing is, when people say, oh, the Trinity is not in the Bible and all that, well, it's the Trinity with a twist, as I called it, right? But um, the thing is that if this wasn't in the Bible, I wouldn't have made them. I could have made the model, because this model is made. Sadly, I guess the image is not the right way and all that. But it's John chapter 14, 15, 16, 17. You have the Father, you have the Son, you have the Holy Spirit, you have the Gentiles and the Jews, okay? On earth in regards of, and the line in regards of pointing out that, we are from below, they are from above. So that's, anyway, it's a model, okay, to just try to figure out in regards of things. But yeah, I guess it's on the other way around and all that. I don't know if you could flip it or something. I guess there's no setting for that. It would have been nice, but I guess they don't do that. So like, okay, this is to the right, so that means, yeah. Anyway, so if the Trinity was not in the Bible, I couldn't have made the model, because I was reading the New Testament and listening to Jesus. And John chapter 14, 15, 16, and 17 is the most concentrated place in regards to this. So when people say, oh, it's not there, and this and that, and I call it the Trinity with a twist, because people tend to forget the children of God. Some of the, nominations out there, um, will actually remember this part, but then they kind of take the Holy Spirit and uh, whatever. Um, Although there was still sort of, but it's still not totally. And it's like, oh, give me a break. Anyway, but it's yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, I really should stop with this as well. Or just in regards of that, it's against the whatever. And I was trying things out anyway. So it doesn't seem like nicotine is good for the brain. It doesn't seem like, and also alcohol is not good for the brain as well as I guess it's like maybe a little, but not in. Yeah, it's terrible. A lot of things are going on. It's really hard to follow along with all the mad. It's impossible to follow along with what is going on in the world, because so many things are going so quick. Anyway, so if you want to know in regards to the Trinity, just listen to Jesus. And would that be a problem to listen to Jesus? It's like incredible. Anyway, um, so so he says D.M. Freeman. In mainstream Christianity, the Trinity is a litmus test. That's Latin, right? I guess. Anyway, it says to see if you are a real Christian. Yet the word Trinity is not in your Bible. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's like you have different things where you use things, right? And uh, and it doesn't mean that it's directly the same words are in the Bible, but you can still get the information over to another with some modern parables in some sense in regards of they didn't have computers at that time and programs and all that, and you can use some things to portray the message in a more to try to get the understanding over to people and still have the same kind of idea where you're trying to portray the same thing, but you're trying to do it so the other person can understand it, because many of the parables and the things is like in regards of things of that people like me that has lived, well, not totally in a city, but I don't live out, I don't have like fields and animals and things of what you call cultural, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, so you know so yeah, anyway, whatever, so but now we have computers and all that, and you can sometimes actually fix the same message over by using some of the modern things that people actually are kind of in regards to talking about the spirit, in regards of spirit and the soul, or the body and soul and all that, in regards of program, in regards of you bring the life into the program, right, the spirit, and then the body comes up, right, you know and when you push the X and you take out the spirit, the body decomposes, yet the soul is still on the hard drive, right? That's like a way to kind of use modern way of anyway, so the next time we are resurrected, the body will be turned on again, giving spirit, body, you know comes up, and the soul is running. Now, the second death is where both body and soul, the program itself on the hard drive is wiped out. So the first time you close down the program, it's the first death, but the program is still on the hard drive. Whereas the second time, it's wiped out from the hard drive as well. So anyway, I'm not so quick in my brain at the moment. It's way over, and I have headaches and all that for a good amount of days and all that. And it does seem to become a little better, but it's, it's just painful. Life is painful. So anyway, nowhere in the Bible does it say you must believe in the Trinity to be saved. Just who and what is God? What does the Bible really say about the God family, and what God is doing through mankind? Now, it's just, I don't know, I haven't listened to these 29 minutes, but I have a bad, what do you call it? A bad feeling about this. Where the title is "The Trinity is a Lie." And then he has a picture, as you can see, in regards of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, which they're all God, but the Son, of course, is not the Father, and the Son is not the Spirit, and the Spirit is not the Father, and yet they are one God. Now, actually, people will say, people will say that you can't say there's like more gods, but I think you can say both things, because the Son is God, the Father is God. How many gods? Two, but they are the same. They're the same Jehovah, but they're both gods. You know, it seems like people will say you are a heretic if you say there's like multiple, in regards of gods, but there are multiple living gods, because you have the Father, the Son, and you have that Spirit. So I just go with the Bible, not in regards of, but clearly people out there will call you a heretic if you say like, hey, but you have God on the earth, right? You have God in heaven, right? How many gods do you have? Well, it's the same God, yet it's one on the earth and one in the heavens, and they are not the same. Because you have the Father up here, you have the Son down here. That's two gods. Oh, heretic! They're both the living God, So you can use both singular and plural, because these two gods are one. Me and my Father are one. And the Jews wanted to stone him for blasphemy. There we go. Anyway, so let's listen to this. See if I can. I don't know how loud this will be. Maybe I can fix actually one of these just to get some. I guess I could maybe also just run it on the mobile, but then you can't see me. Oh, well, let's just fix this little big speaker, right? So that's been some time since I've listened to those. Anyway, there we go. It's not the best quality speaker, I guess. Didn't sound totally pure, but anyway, that's also in regards of like, we have a lot of storage today on the mobile, so we could actually just have FLAC files, and I do concentrate more and more down in regards of things, because in regards of refining what you actually need, and further move along in regards of giving that information to the children. But yeah, anyway, because when you have the truth, you just want to condense it down and hand it over to the next, so they don't need to do so much digging around, which can take many, many years. The devil can really deceive us very, very easily. He's very good at it. Anyway, let's see if this works. Oh yeah, and we'll just, well, I guess we can. I think that should probably be good enough. Okay. So let's see. I'll see what he says, but it's like, is that really in the Bible? And then it says the Trinity is a lie. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Do we have another fallen one in regards to?
Is that really in the Bible? You live in a world where everyone has an opinion about the Bible.
Oh, actually.
Of what values are your beliefs if they are not clearly found in the pages of your Bible? The question we must ask is...
Now, I do have a picture of that model at hand. So maybe I should actually send this to him in the PM. although I still do not know what he's going to say, so maybe I should wait. But apparently I don't have it that much at hand. Apparently, oh, there we go. It should be around here. So let's just send the model to him, whether he believes it or not, and all that. At least it's sent. Now it's so.
Are your opinions and beliefs really found in the Bible? Well, hello, I'm David Freeman with Is That Really in the Bible? You know, the Trinity doctrine, false doctrine, has come to the point where it mandates what a Christian is. In other words, if you don't believe in the Trinity, you're not a Christian. Now, I am...
The thing is, again, with the Trinity is that, many will deny that Jesus is God. And Jesus said, if you do not believe that I am, you shall die in your sins. And of course, one of the ways to actually understand that Jesus is God is to understand what is going on with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Because that's kind of how it works. So it's kind of there's so many fake versions of Jesus. There's many who denies his divinity out there. You have 1.8 billion Mohammedans who reject Jesus as God. You have the Roman Catholics who believe in a cookie Jesus, although they proclaim truth. Outwardly they do proclaim, Christian truth, but it's the masterpiece of the devil. It's a copycat. It's so that's the most dangerous system for Christians. But anyway, it's also interesting how many lies there is in regards to Martin Luther as well, in regards to people attacking Martin Luther on so many levels, and yeah, it's just rubbish. There's so much rubbish out there. Anyway, so let's see what he says.
Beginning to wonder, just thinking out loud, if it could be this Trinitarian doctrine could be a part of the mark of the beast.
Oh,
now, as a Sabbath keeper,
you gotta be kidding me. It shouldn't be that difficult in regards of understanding. What is the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast is the number 666, or his name, which is in regards to the beast. The mark of the beast, mark of the beast, his name or number. It's a book of Revelation, the mark, I see here. So when people are like, oh, what is the mark of the beast? Oh, yeah. And of course, that also is usually, I haven't heard this guy actually proclaim the papacy, the Antichrist. Because in regards to the number 666, in regards to the poop, yeah. That's the man of the number 666, So, mark of the beast. Let's see here, Revelation. Let's see if we can find the place in the book of Revelation. Yeah. Revelation 13. Let's take the English Hallelujah scripture. And this is I guess my main Bible for the rest of the Bible. My main New Testament was in regards of the Danish version, and then I pretty much have used this for. But I did get a Danish version as well. I just haven't used it much in regards of. But yeah, I'm who knows? It might use it at some point in regards to that. And I stood on the sand of the sea. Yeah, there we go. In regards to the sea here. 16 and 17. So chapter 13, 16 and 17. And then what at that is here. And he causes all, both and small and great, and rich and poor, and free and slave, to be given a mark upon their right hand or upon their foreheads, and that no one should be able to buy or sell except that he that has the mark or the name of the beast. So what is his mark or the name of the beast? Or the number of his name? Isn't that really hard to understand? Here's the wisdom. He who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. Oh, so it's a number of a man. And his number is 666. That's the poop. Anyway, you can just look in regards to the calculations in regards of his But yeah, that's the Latin man. Anyway, so what is this nonsense of a lot of these people where you think, wow, they have a lot of good stuff and all that, and they just you get this rotten mix of nonsense.
I know that, a lot of times we say, well, it's Sabbath Sunday, it's Sunday is a mark of the beast and all that.
That's the SDA, Seventh Day Adventists, that are promoting that, and they makes they have all their issues as well. Now again, the SDA do have things they have Protestant truth, in regards of prophecy and all that, but they also do mix their own nonsense into it. And when you begin to study prophecy, they can be helpful in regards to the Protestant teaching, but you also find out that there's 11 in there, and and it's one of the things, like the lamb, the second beast, the lamb-like beast, yet speaks like a dragon. And you have the SDA making that as a bison, because they believe it's the USA, and will tell you, well, he just didn't know what he was seeing. Well, we're told what he's seeing. He's seeing a lamb-like beast with two horns, and yet, lamb-like, Christian-like, yet speaks like a dragon. There you go. You have speaks like the devil, deceptive, lying, smooth. Anyway, twisting. Anyway, so it took me a little time to actually realize. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? It's written. We already get the details about it. It's not a bison. So, and like reading the Revelation backwards and other things, and believing that we are going into the heavens for 1,000 years and Satan will roam on earth. This is bullshit. It's not biblical. We are going to have 1,000-year reign down here on earth, and this is also standard understanding of the first Christians. But it was proclaimed as a Jewish fairy tale. Yeah. Anyway. So you have all these deceptions and lies that you need to get through. It's like swimming in peanut butter. It's very annoying. Anyway, let's see what
stuff, And yeah, I do get a lot of hostility for keeping one of the 10 Commandments.
In regards to keeping the Sabbath, you cannot attack people for keeping the Sabbath because it's one of the 10 Commandments, okay? When people attack the Seventh-day Adventists for keeping the Sabbath, or that they believe, that they should still keep some of the law, I think the whole law is good for instructions, and the closer we can actually get, the better. Jesus kept the law, right? And we're his disciples, right? The closer we get to truth, the more wisdom we might gain, but actually doing what, the festivals of God is not what most Christians are keeping, are proclaimed Christians. Most proclaimed Christians are keeping the festivals of the devil, which just got a little glimmer on it. It is very sad.
It's the fourth commandment. Now get this.
And the thing is, you have the festivals of lies, and you have the festivals of truth. Why wouldn't you want to keep the festivals of truth? And there's so much nonsense out there. I think a lot of people are sadly. I think there's more people out there with demons than, I think most people out there have demonic issues. And I don't know in regards of when we have proclaimed Christians, that's of course a whole nother. But they do seem, a lot of these seems to at least be, the devil is kind of at least trying to interfere with what truth they have. And I don't know all the details, how it all working and all that, but in regards to the spiritual realm, but it's just so much nonsense out there, and yeah.
I get a lot of hostility and resentment and hate mail because I keep one of the the fourth commandment that says keep the Sabbath day. By religious, small letter R, religious wannabe Christians. I get a lot of hostility and resentment. But the Trinitarian doctrine, though, I'm beginning to wonder because, first of all, it's not one of the commandments. It's nowhere in the Bible. It's not even in the Bible. The word's not even in the Bible. Nowhere.
So again, just because the word is not in the Bible doesn't mean it's not. I wonder if I actually did send him the model before as well. But if you read John chapter 14, 15, and 16 and 17, and you can reread it, and so you have, there's also like when people are like going to First John, people that attack the divinity of Jesus and the Trinity, and they will go to First John 5:7 and say this verse shouldn't be in here. Now I've done the research. I absolutely believe it should be there, but it doesn't really change my doctrine. It's not in the Danish Bible either. It is in the King James Version. I do not believe it should be taken out. I did due diligence on research on it. And I guess it's probably on my Facebook in regards to writing about it while doing it, because I used it as a diary in regards to the Facebook, although the last 4 or 5 years has nearly been impossible because I'm getting censored, put in jail all the time. But First John 5:7, people will like say, well, it shouldn't be there, and it's the only Trinity, only place for the Trinity in the Bible, and it was inserted. Well, that's not true. You can go to the last part of Matthew in regards to go and baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And yeah, you have the Trinity with a twist right there. Because who are they baptizing? There you go. Anyway, that's the twist. So you have the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in the last part of the book of Matthew. So, but you say that 1 John 5:7 is the only place where you have like the doctrine of the Trinity. It's one sentence, or one, what do you call it? It's just one little, thing. And you think that changes anything? Like, you gotta be kidding me. When you have like 4 whole chapters in the book of John explaining it in details. And you wanna, there's so many liars out there. There's so many bullshitters. It's very sad. And by the way, when people say, oh, we don't have the first manuscripts and all that, you know what happens when you use manuscripts very much, This happens. So what do you do when this happens? You make another copy. Oh, blah, blah, we want a genuine copy, blah, blah. You know what? Give me a break, okay? This is what happens when you study, manuscripts. It gets used and it gets torn out, or what do you call it, worn out. And then you need to make a new copy. Oh, well, it's just incredible. But we have an overflow of information in regards of the, documents. Anyway, it's just apt, so much attack on the truth. But anyway, John chapter 14, 15, 16, and 7. So many liars out there, so many deceivers are utterly ignorant, Either they're lying, they're deceiving, they're doing their father's work in regards of the devil, or they're absolutely ignorant and blind on the subject. I remember one of the now Mohammedans. He had been a Christian. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what he further says in regards to this.
Does it say you must believe in the Trinity? Nowhere in the Bible does it say that. And yet.
But it says that you need to, if you do not believe that I am, you shall die in your sins. Now, they could see Jesus, talk to Jesus and all that. That was not the thing, in regards of him being a man walking around. The thing was to believe who he actually was.
There is such emphasis on this man-made doctrine, the Trinity. Because anytime you start saying, look...
How is it man-made? Now, in regards of some of the... I do have one of these somewhere in regards of the standard thing and all that. There might be one thing I disagree with in regards to that document, comparing it to what I have from the New Testament, but that's pretty much, and I might be disagreeing in regards to that you cannot use gods. Elohim in Hebrew is plural anyway, and it's the living gods anyway. But people will call you a heretic and all that because we need to go with this, these, and that, and blah. And of course, the Father is greater than the Son and all that. And the Son always does the will of the Father. So, and that's just what I'm getting from the New Testament, and. So, but overall, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is absolutely there, and the children of God. Oh, anyway,
you don't believe what I believe. It has sign. That's just why. I could be.
In regards to turning around, it did take me a year to realize that Jesus was God, and then, and sorting out the model and all that. It did take me a year before I realized that Jesus was God, starting the New Testament and zealously reading this. Although I read the letters of Paulus last, I jumped over them, and I do have issues with Paulus, Roman Pharisee Pope Paulus the First, but he does have good things, but he also has leaven, and that's the problem. Dangerous, lawless leaven, and it's incredible when I point out that many people who read the letters of Paulus will say that the law is done away, it was fixed on the cross, that the law is a curse. If you keep more of the law, that you lose salvation, or attack you with the most ferocious attacks because keeping so. But then people know Paulus this and that. It's just it's you feel like you are entering a nutcase house on so many levels, and sometimes it's just well, anyway, now let's see what he says further.
I'm just thinking out loud that it could be a part connected to the mark of the beast. You've got to believe this. Now, when I say man,
in regards of Satan's trinity, that's Father, Mother, and Son. This pagan trinity, you can look back to Shinar, where in the area of Babylon, and you can find the first version, and well, at least the version they had in the area of Shinar, which of course were in regards of Babylon, where they were disposed from. Then you have the Babylonian version in regards of the other kind of people, and they have the same thing, just with a little different names. She's just called Easter, whereas in regards to Sumer, or the biblical Shinar, she's called Inanna, the Queen of the Heavens. As far as I recall, Inanna actually means Queen of the Heavens. Where, and then you have, which is the same as Easter in regards of it, and many other names, also Venus, connected with the star Venus, This is the pagan trinity of Father, Mother, and Son. This is what the mystery Babylon is about in regards to Roman Catholicism, where you have the Father Priest, you have the Mother Queen of the Heavens, which they call Mary, and then you have the Sun Cookie Jesus, the S-U-N Cookie Jesus, the sun-shaped Cookie Jesus, the solar, the solar-shaped cookie, just to have the, because in English you have sun and sun, right? And it can be a little hard to hear the difference in regards of it. So, and then they put it in a solar monstrance and walk around with it and worship it and all that. I had this argument yesterday in regards to, who verified in regards to the canon, and how do you know the canon? It's just bullshit arguments, which is, give me a break. But I actually realized something thinking about it. It's like, okay, let's say, you have a canon of the Orthodox. You have a canon of the Roman Catholics, right? You have a canon of, the Ethiopia. You also have, I guess they must also have some in India, because Thomas took the gospel to India in the 1st century and established 7 congregations. I think it's 7. Um, and then, of course, you have the Protestants in regards to what books they verify. And of course, we have some that everybody verify in regards of genuine. But even if they will say, well, who established the canon and all of that? Well, the thing is, shouldn't your religion actually hold up to what is written in those books? Oh, by the way, the Jews, of course, established a canon as well of accepted books. So that's the Tanakh. That's not to say that there's not books outside that actually is, inspired, but it's just what people have accepted. Now, for example, we now have the Book of Gad in English that is not found in the Bible. A very interesting document that actually exposes both Roman Catholicism and Mohammedanism. A document that was written long, long ago that the northern kingdom of Israel took with them before this. Some of the Assyrians fled because they knew the Assyrians was coming. So they fled south into Yemen, nowadays Yemen. Now, after Muhammad came about, some of these people fled to India. Now, those people from India has now gone back to Israel. Now, one of the people I think he was in India at that point, became a Christian. And he felt like the Christians, the Gentile Christians, should see this book of Gad. So it was translated into, I can't remember what language. It wasn't English, but it was translated, I think German or something like that, so people could actually see it. Now if this book of Gad is translated into English, and if you actually read the Bible, you can see that the Bible actually refers to other books, but those books are not in the Bible. So that you have to remember that it's real, it's history, it's facts. So you have data points, outside the Bible as well in regards to these things. But anyway, they're called the Lost Five. We haven't, gotten the translation of the other 4. The thing with the Jews are that they're kind of, protecting these books, so, keeping them closest at hand. But yeah, now we have the Book of Gad, and interestingly enough, it has prophecies of our days. Anyway, but you have books that are accepted by the different, but and they try to make that a point that because they have like made the canon, then I don't have any ground standing on because I don't stand on any regards of I think it's a bullshit move, but it has a lot of bullshit arguments out there where you end up talking about things that it's just waste of time, and of course many of these people are idolaters. They're worshiping cookies, the wafer. They were worshiping idols and images and all that. And they will say, "Oh, we don't worship them; we just venerate them." And yeah, give me a break with they use these different wordings of what they really do. But look at what they're, look at you can see videos and images of what they are doing in front of these stinking things. Oh, we're not really praying to Mary, so-called Mary. Oh, no, she's not. All the excuses. It's just very slick. So the question is, if they can't even stand on solid ground, who are they actually working for? Yeah, well, bowing down to images, idols, and cookies. Disgusting. Anyway, so you have a lot of Satanists in the world. Yeah, and they always want to they're very they try to get these nonsense arguments. But anyway, I was actually on Discord. Now that I have a whole day of timeout, but they haven't banned me from this place. At least that's pretty nice. At least I've been timed out a good amount of time and muted and this and that. But at least they haven't. At least they haven't. Apparently, I've heard that I kind of have gotten a reputation on Discord. I was getting banned all the places from multiple servers and all that. It doesn't really take so long. You just have to proclaim that the papacy is the Antichrist or the Pope, and the papacy is the office of the Antichrist. If you do that, most of the Christians places will will ban you, kick you out. Even so-called Protestants, yeah, lots of Protestants. I've been banned from huge. I don't have just multiple, both on Facebook, on Discord. The Discord is what I'm on at the moment. Just to look around in regards of if there was anyone that I could connect with. Oh, we are Protestants, but you just got muted for saying that the Pope is the Antichrist. Wait a minute. A Protestant knows who the Antichrist is. That's why we're Protestants. We protest against the Antichrist and his wicked system of Roman Catholicism. Well, so many smooth talkers out there, and it is disgusting. Anyway, so I found this kind of e-speaker corner thing, which apparently have Mohammedans and Jews and non-believing Jews, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've seen any. But anyway, you have all kinds of different people, and then they debate about things. And I've listened to some of the debates, and it's like listening to the speaker corner in England, and it's again many of the times it's just debating for debate. No one is going to move any place in regard. They're just debating, And so you sit if you look into a room, it's like, oh no, it's terrible. Just let me go out of here. Um, so because some of the times it's just madness. It just feels like waste of time. And the arguments that they put up, it's just there's so much rubbish. And I'm more like into preaching. Because you can argument and argument and argument. It's just whatever. I give you the truth, take it or leave it. You do what you want with it. You figure out who's speaking the truth and who's not. Obvious, I'm grown too old to debate in English nonsense. Um, and regards of word choices. Oh, we're not really worshiping these things, and we're this and we're that. We're just venerating, and we're just oh my. Anyway, um, so yeah, what was I pointing? Yeah, but they haven't. We actually had some pretty good talks, and the thing is, the AIs. There's an AI in there, and it's like actually the AI is more honest, even if it has been programmed to be. I actually, I got it to even reject the cookie Jesus. And yeah, it's anyway, but in regards to gathering information. You just ask the AI, and then it provides the information. Then people can see. It's like, and then people, oh, it's coming from an AI, and oh, give me a break. There's always having an excuse. Like I'm not sitting with the AI and forcing it to give the response I want. I'm just asking it something, and and you know just letting it give the answer. And many times it actually gives the truth. Now there are some things, of course, here and there that is, but it gives enough, more than enough truth. So it actually, um, some really really good things in regards of pointing out like who the Antichrist is and all that. Although it's not totally, but it gives you some pretty good stuff. So. And you just sit in the chat while the rest of the people is there and ask the bot different things, and then people can sit and read it and see, wait a minute, if they want the truth. Um, Now, a lot of people were very hostile to me in the beginning on the server. Of course, there will still be hostility. That's usually the case. Interestingly enough, I actually have two people come and say sorry to me, which that's kind of I guess maybe they felt maybe they figured out that I was actually not the bad guy here, that I was actually telling the truth. But the thing is, even if they I forgive them, no worries. It's already forgotten pretty much, because the thing is, I can't remember all the people that attacks me. um, I just can't have that up in my brain. Um, so they remember me, but I don't remember them. Um, but I actually had two people come, afterwards, a day after, maybe 2 days or something like that. I've not been on this place so long, actually saying they were sorry, that they twisted my words, or something like that, or sorry that they were so. Again, anyway, so I actually had two people actually come and say they are sorry for. I guess they ended up, getting in this intense group thing to then just, you know, like when all just they could just went along with the rest, or maybe they actually did some searching in regards to what I actually told them, or put out, because I try to do the very best that I can do with what truth I have to hand it out. Now I might make mistakes, as any other. It's just no one is perfect. I try the best that I can do, but I might make, I don't know everything. I know what I know, and I try to do the best that I can do with what truth I have. And much of the truth already that I've gained and solidified is more than like the papacy being the Antichrist. It's more than enough to stir up, most. It's a very unpopular view. It's like if I provide a lot of Protestants proclaiming that the Pope is the Antichrist, they will come with, well, this is like, just because the Protestants say it doesn't mean it's so. Then I can point out the Bible, and it's like, oh, but they will always try to twist and mislead. And there's so many people out there, and it's very few are standing up. They have some very clever people out there. Some of these people are very, sharp-minded in regards to how they speak and words and all that, and and uh, and they can maybe actually make them look like they are throwing you around the arena or playing with you, or um, they can try to again mislead you into some other bullshit topic. That is just waste of time, instead of actually keeping to what we want to keep to, in regards to the truth. You have the Jesuits. The Jesuits are, some of these Jesuits are highly educated people, but it's like learning against learning. But again, even if you lose, or it looks like that you're losing and all that, to their grandiose arguments and all that, doesn't mean you lose. But because the truth is still the truth, it's not like who is going to win. The question is, what is the truth? So yeah. Anyway, I actually talked to a guy yesterday, and he was a newcomer he was like, in regards of Mohammedanism, he was nearly going in that direction. He apparently talked to a Protestant woman that actually showed him in regards to who Jesus really is and all that. So he actually now is a Christian, and I talked to him, and he actually didn't talk much in regards of things, which kind of is because afterwards someone else came on, and he was actually very very good in regards of. He was on the right path. It seems, he might not agree with everything and all that, but you always have some. You can't expect anyone to know all. To have everything solidified. But I think it seems like he's on the right path, because also he had some experience uh, in regards of Orthodoxy and Roman Catholicism, in regards of being at these whole houses and all that, and seeing what they do. And he was talking to this Orthodox guy and all that, and yeah. And the Orthodox tried to do everything he could to, oh, we only venerate a blah blah, but he, this guy actually, it, I think he's on the right track. That's pretty nice to see. Anyway, um, yeah. So you do get, and I also talked to a Jew yesterday as well, and he also seemed to actually. Now he didn't, we talked a little back and forward. He's non-believing Jew. Um, so I asked him to calculate Daniel 77s, and well, we got moving in regards to the right. He didn't really start, found out in regards to the years, and he didn't totally get the right beginning point, but we're kind of showing them the Messiah had to be cut off. So even if he got the wrong kind of, that he was off, not 30 AD, but he um, was actually a little, 40 BC or so, 46 BC or something like that. But just to understand that the Messiah had to come and be cut off. Well, if the Messiah had to come, right, and be cut off, even if he's a little in regards to in regards of the beginning point. I think it began the point from where when Daniel actually lived, instead of in regards to the beginning of restoring the temple and all that. So again, a minor issue. Well, it's still an issue, but it's still, the thing is, he still figured out that a date very close to it, and he could could see that the Messiah had to be cut off. I took a little back and forward in regards of it. But the thing is, if the Messiah had to come, even if like 2,000 years ago, well, then you need to look backward, right? Well, you get the right date and all that. And I used the AI afterwards, in regards of, and I actually did pretty good in regards to the beginning point as well. So he could see the details afterwards. But we took it a little by little. So he seemed to go in the right direction. Again, the devil is very quick to take the coins that people get, but you know, hopefully he will continue looking for the truth. Yeah, it depends on if he loves truth. If he loves truth, he will continue to figure out, go in that direction. But if he don't like truth and he doesn't care about truth, and or if he's afraid to be persecuted by his family and hated by them and all that, well then, you know, then of course he will move away from it and move, anyway. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice to um, and you have different people. You have Mohammedans as well. Yeah, that's just incredible that Mohammedans would. You also have, I've seen a Mormon as well in there. So you have, like, this group is not only for Christians; it's a group for everybody. So you can reach out to people. But yeah, that's not bad thing. Regards not a bad. But you do feel like it's like when you listen to some of them in regards to the room that is just full of confusion. It's like, nah, I don't really want to, partake further in regards to that. But sometimes you do get some good experiences, and they really hate you when you point out the papacy to be antichrist. You try to explain it, and yet people will say, "Oh, you're just taking here and there." It's like, "Oh, give me a break." I'm trying to put it together so you can. The problem is also that, you know, people, if people don't read the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, and they're just like, oh, where is it in regards to the beast and all? I can't remember the chapter and all that. I just know it's in the book of Daniel. Don't any of you guys know, like, where it is? Can in regards of just find it while I'm speaking here. Um, but yeah, I was like, oh, you don't even know where it is. I don't try to use those chapters because chapters was inserted, and when I tried to, one of the times when I spoke about that, I don't try to go with chapters, because the chapters can actually ruin the understanding, because a chapter division usually, is a break, but it's not a break sometimes, because the chapters was inserted in the Bible later on, so that sometimes they are inserted, in the middle of things, that just anyway, and or places, just the first chapter in the book of the Bible ends with the sixth day. What about the 7 days? The creation story is 7 days, it's not 6 days. 6 days God created the heavens and the land, or the gods, Elohim, created the heavens and the land. And then he rested on the seventh day, but they put a chapter division in before the seventh day. You gotta be kidding me. But anyway, that's just one example. And yet you have scoffers, and or whatever you call it, that just try to, I don't know all the words and all that, but they just try to belittle you on so many levels. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. And it nearly doesn't matter what you say. Also the Trinity and all, they misinterpret what you say. It is very interesting. Anyway, um, yeah, it's but yeah, I had the two people in the that apparently understood that maybe I wasn't that bad of a, you know so that's nice to see that at least as someone, not, uh that it actually does make some waves, and it actually does make people to think. And that's also, even if I get banned or anything like that, if I go into a place and I make some waves, well, they might talk about this crazy guy afterwards, apparently, because that seems to be the case that they do. So it makes some waves. And when I make the waves, it makes people talk about it. And when they talk about it, they will get some information, and they might actually find out, wait a minute, that actually is maybe, there's at least some information on it. Maybe this guy is not so crazy. Anyway, and hopefully they then further go on in regards to it. Yeah, it's just, and in regards to the papacy being Antichrist, or the office of the Antichrist, it is it is a very important foundational doctrine. Now, of course, you also have people, the Protestants are not, they would try to say, no, no. A Protestant is someone who protested against the Antichrist and the Roman Catholic institution. That's a Protestant who protests against these diabolical things, okay? That's just the sum up of a Protestant. That's why I'm a Protestant. I'm not a Protestant because I'm part of some kind of nomination. I'm a Protestant because I protest against the Antichrist. It's not like I wanted to be a Protestant, but the Bible led me to be a Protestant. So, and many of the proclaimed Protestants out there are not really Protestants. They're going back to Mother Hall, the slut and harlot of Revelation. Anyway, let's get back to this.
That the Trinity is mandated. Well, let me just clear the air. I don't believe in the Trinity because it's not what the Bible teaches.
Okay, so he does not believe in the Trinity, and he says that the Bible does not teach it. Well, what about that model I made? What about the model I made? Where did I get that from? But because I didn't get it from others, I got it from Jesus. I got it from investigating the words of Jesus, and I didn't go into it like, oh, it's just a mystery, because in regards of, people will many times say, oh, it's a mystery, and I'm like, let's just see what does the New Testament say. You hear it over and over and over again. It's a mystery, and this and that and all that. No, it's right in John chapter 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now it's in the rest of the Bible as well.